Welcome back, guys, to the Ron Williams YouTube channel. Natural Mr. World, Natural Mr. Universe, Natural Mr. Olympia, also inducted into the Natural Bodybuilders Hall of Fame. Remember, this is the Ron Williams National Arm Month. Today we're going to talk about triceps again. And what I want to talk about today is skull crushers. Headbangers, skull crushers, same thing. I want to talk about overhead triceps also with this particular video. The reason why is there are some exercises that you can do to isolate any muscle group. There are some exercises that are better than others as far as isolation is concerned, and then there are exercises that involve other muscle groups. But also the key to this is you want to make sure you don't destroy that joint. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of skull crushers and overhead tricep extensions. As we talk about it, as I said, again, I'm going to reiterate this all month long. It's the small things done well, repetitively, over and over and over again, that's going to give you the success that you're looking for. This is not an overnight thing, guys. This is something that you've got to put time in, you've got to put heart into it, and you've got to make this happen. Guess what? You only have one body, it belongs to you, and you get to choose what happens to your body. Don't let anybody dictate for you what you can and can't do. I remember through the years, people told me, you'll never be Mr. Universe, you'll never win the Mr. Olympia. I did it 7 times over. I proved them wrong over and over and over again. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to do it not just for other people to prove to them, but prove it to the most important person. Who might that be? I'll tell you, just look in the mirror and you'll see who the most important person is to prove it to. It's you. Okay, let's go hit these skull crushers and these overhead presses. Okay guys, here we are. We're about to do skull crushers. Before we even start, I want you to know this. I never, ever do this exercise. Part of the reason why is because it's hard to keep it out of the joint. Really hard to keep it out of the joint. The other thing is it recruits other muscle groups if you're not strong enough to do the skull crushers. The moment your elbows flare out, you're starting to involve the chest. Let me show you what that looks like. As you're coming down, here, elbows are in close, but the moment they flare out, ooh, you're using the chest. It's almost like a bench press. So you're here, and those elbows flare out, and extend. But again, you're concentrating on getting the weight up, not so much the movement. But the skull crusher should go straight down to the forehead and squeeze with the tricep all the way up. The other thing with this is the pressure goes against the shoulder joint, and it makes you want to raise those shoulders up, and it puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the joint. Now we're trying to work the tricep. That's our goal, to work those triceps. Your shoulders are down, and as you push up, you start to rock those to push up, and you're not concentrating on keeping the shoulders down. You're concentrating on getting the weight up. So let's alleviate that by doing a different exercise. But if you really, really love this exercise and you're going to do it anyway, and you have, fairly decent form, at least concentrate on keeping the shoulders down and using the tricep muscle itself. You're here and you're squeezing straight up. Believe me, it will work the tricep. It works the tricep like crazy. But if you're not used to doing this exercise and you would consider yourself an amateur, I would start off using this exercise with extremely lightweight, concentrating on the form, and slowly build up with good, impeccable form so that you don't start to injure that shoulder joint or injure the elbow joint. This is going to hit as you're going down, as you'll notice my tricep, as it contracts in this position, it's stretching all the way back, and as it goes up right there, I can feel it in the third head of that tricep as I'm coming up. And you can feel it. I mean, you should be able to feel those triceps really contract. When you extend that your arms over your head, you hit your tricep in a completely different way. But at the same time, you're going against that joint. So you want to be real careful going against that shoulder joint. This one, not so bad, but the one I'm about to show you, it's hard to impossible not to involve that shoulder joint in this movement. And it's the overhead presses. Let's show you that. Okay, with the overhead presses, it's almost impossible not to hit, not to work that shoulder joint in a way that it shouldn't be worked. If it's a straight overhead press. Now, the way to alleviate that is to use the cables where you don't have to be straight overhead, but you can lean forward and push out, in front of you. But remember, as I've always said, that this is a ball in the socket. And the moment you go straight over your head and pushing straight up, you're pulling that ball out of the socket, and the pressure that's on top is pushing down on that joint once it comes out of the socket. So let me show you what I mean. Straight overhead, and I'm going back, and I'm pushing straight up. This is fairly harmless because it's not very much weight. It's not taxing me at all. With this exercise, whenever you're doing anything overhead, you want to make sure that that your elbows are in front of your head, pushing forward. If they're even with your ears, you're going against that joint. Elbows forward and push in front. So that's an isolation of the tricep, but every time you push upward, there's pressure coming down. So as you're pushing up with resistance, that resistance is coming down on that joint. So be very careful doing those exercises and stay tight. Don't concentrate on the forearm, but concentrate on the muscle that's doing the work, the tricep. There you go. I hope you like this. I hope it helps you. And as you're going through these exercises, remember those small things. This is Arm Month, and we're going to make it happen.